Going up. Welcome to the Pop Tower Podcast with your host, the man behind the myth, Peter Dawson, and the soulful Lordy, James Bullock.
Yes, we are indeed Peter W. Dawson and
James Bullock.
And we are here to talk today about movies and television.
No. Movies and television.
Thank you. Speaking of talking to you, James, like I do. By the way, we're not going hostless this year because then we wouldn't have a show. Just to get a slightly topical joke out of the way. But I was gonna say, James, you know what you haven't said in a while?
What?
The thing you're nicknamed for.
Oh Lordy, what?
That thing. Just thought I'd throw that out there because we had that nickname.
Yeah, you gotta understand why the nickname exists. If you don't watch the first impressions, you wouldn't get it being here. So I have to throw it out there once in a while.
Yeah, and I'm the man behind the myth because I keep making stuff up.
Yeah.
I'm making up this whole episode right now.
I know, this is not even real.
Yeah.
Which plays into something that we'll talk about later.
Oh yeah, well, a few things really. Let's start our fictional examination with the world of tomorrow.
Ooh.
Where we have to ask whether androids are real, and if their weird anime eyes are acceptable in a world full of humans. Because that was the thing on everybody's mind.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, everybody makes a joke about X, so we have to bring up X. In this case, Alita Battle Angel, a movie that's been gestating for, I think it's the 90s?
Yeah.
Is that when James Cameron started talking about this?
Yeah, I know the manga came out like in, I think it was like really like 1990.
Let me check. Yeah, I'm going to call up the manga. Give me a second here. The manga is 90 to 95.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been gestating basically since it started. Because this, like as I name dropped, James Cameron, he's a big producer. He'd been wanting to make this forever.
Yeah, at least almost 2 decades now.
Well, he kept saying he was going to make it after Avatar came out.
Oh man!
And then instead he started doing the sequels. Yeah, it was originally announced in 2003.
Okay.
But like I knew he was developing it before that.
Right.
It's like, I remember this thing going way back, and yeah, they ended up filming in 2016, and so it still took a while to come out. I mean, because they announced the trailer, I think, almost a year ago. I think they wanted to bring it out last September, but they wanted to.
That was wise not to.
Yeah, well, there's a few reasons why, and including smoothing out the CG, because this is a very CG heavy movie.
Oh man, well, they did a good job. That was worth the time and wait.
Yeah. And, because this movie... Oh, yeah, I should mention the director, too, because this is filmed by Austin, Texas legend Robert Rodriguez, which I say because, like, Austin, Texas, of course, is one of the places where they keep trying to make filming happen because they got a big film school there and stuff, and then...
It's an attended hotbed.
Yeah, and then it just keeps kind of fizzing out, which is funny enough because then one of the companies I'm always a big fan of, Rooster Teeth, they've now basically helped keep those people employed whenever they're not working on movies. Filming just the most ludicrous things. So I'm just like, it's a weird thing about Austin film. It's just something I know, though. But let's get off fun trivia and talk about the movie itself. So we're in the very far off 26th century, after the cataclysm, although I like the term, they call it the fall.
Yeah, and I also love the Great War. Like, it just makes me think that Matt Hardy's been reading Alita Battle Angel Alita, like, for the last 20 years.
He could. Who knows what Matt Hardy reads at the same time? I like to think Matt Hardy's one of those guys who will, you know how like some people when they're watching a YouTube video they'll suddenly stop because they think about something and go to watch another one. It's not quite ADD, but it's ADD like. Right. I like to think he's that way with books, where he'll be reading like a serious novel and then he'll stop for a moment and turn to his left, where is it Rebby?
Yeah.
Yeah, his wife Rebby will be standing there with the other book she's already predicted he'll want to read.
Yeah.
And then just say, "I'm going back to my piano."
Yeah.
And he's like, excellent, wonderful. And he's drinking wine. That was my impersonation of Matt Hardy reading. Let's actually talk about this movie. No, because there's legit some good stuff to talk about, because you can really tell this is a product of love where they really wanted to do some world building. Because they really built this, like, it's a junkyard town called just Iron City, like you do. Yeah, and it just follows, what the hell is the doctor's name? Dyson.
Yeah.
Dr. Dyson Ido, which I think is like 2 different references. Yeah, he finds a cyborg, but it's got a human brain. So it's very much in the. I think Battle Angel was inspired by Ghost in the Shell or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
That part. Yeah. That part's very Ghost in the Shell. And yeah, she's ends up getting rebuilt and essentially becomes his adopted daughter. And then she ends up befriending a guy named Hugo.
Yeah.
He's
there.
Look, the actor doesn't have a Wikipedia page.
No, not at all. I actually looked that up too, and I was surprised. I was like, no, he doesn't really exist.
Well, I'm kind of making a point. He's probably not going to get one for a while. Because, yeah, his performance in this isn't very remarkable.
Yeah, I hate to rag on the guy, because, you know, it is what it is. But it was just like, there was a moment, I'm not going to spoil what it was a moment pretty late in the movie where you kind of find out more about him as a person and what he does as a job. And it's just so wooden and like so late 80s, early 90s kind of schlock of an acting job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we had that big reveal of a character who's not who you really think he is. Yeah. It was like Power Rangers, like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers television show kind of acting.
Yeah, fair. I just kept sitting there thinking, you know, Justin Chatwick was probably available. Yeah. And he probably would have done better.
He would have done better.
And I'm not even the biggest fan of that guy.
Yeah.
But I would have liked him more in this role. I mean, you know, say what you want about his performance in Dragon Ball Evolution. He looks like he was an anime character brought to life.
Yeah, he had the energy of one, at least.
Yeah, no, that was alright. But anyway, and Christoph Waltz plays Dr. Dyson, by the way.
Yeah, carrying around a giant scythe.
Why not?
Look, it.
Let Christoph Waltz do what... Like, I think we kind of hinted at this, but yeah, it's not just the CG that makes this thing pretty or the world building.
Mm-hmm.
This film is very visually interesting.
Yes, it is. It really is. And not only from the main characters, but also the adversary characters, and even some of the just... It was one character, I can definitely spoil this one, that has a crew of robotic dogs that he has around with him. And he shows up late in the movie, and I just love the line of why he does one of the things he does is simply because this person does not like dogs.
I think, yeah, okay. Sorry, it took me a second there. I'm just thinking, because I'm also trying to think of, like, all the people in the movie, because this movie has a crazy cast.
Yeah, and then we had the motorball racers, and, like, just, and of course our favorite, Jackie Haley, I mean.
Yeah, Jackie Earl Haley and Michelle Ali.
I felt, now, that was one of those disappointing moments. Like, Jackie did a great job. They gave him a lot. Ali, yeah. They didn't give him that much.
No, because, unfortunately, his character is more tied to another character.
Yeah.
Who I won't give away just because it's kind of a spoiler.
He is a big spoiler.
And if you try to recognize the voice actor related to it, that'll probably take you out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun casting choice, though, and I think that was, but it's, yeah, I totally get what you're saying. And then we also have Ed Skrein.
Yeah, he was the most profound bounty hunter in the movie.
Yeah, and of course, yeah, right, Dog Guy. I was like, which one guy is that? Oh, it's that guy. Yeah. Also played by an actor I really like.
Yeah.
I would comment more on why he's in this movie, but that would give away.
Yeah, that would give away a big part of the movie. Yeah.
And there's another actor I never thought I would see in basically a major movie ever again. And he's in this, and I'm just like, what? I don't want to... I'm trying to remember if he would be a spoiler. You know what, I'm not going to say it. I'll tell you later, James.
Okay.
But he's one of those guys you would... Once you see he's got a physical trait, you would...
Oh, quickly... yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about now.
Yeah, okay. Would you say that's a spoiler?
Yeah, that's kind of a spoiler. Cause
Yeah,
like it's kind of a late reveal.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's a fun one though. Like the big thing is, unfortunately, because it's an older thing, even though it probably helped popularize some of the ideas, like the actual when it comes to actual plot stuff, like the kind of the battle arena motorball tournament, that just feels kind of derivative.
Yeah, it just felt like it was tacked on in the sense of, and I hate to spoil this one. We've had this problem before where it kind of like leads to, oh, you know, a sequel's coming. Like they kind of added that specifically for that moment.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. And then there's like I was saying, like I said, it reminds me a little bit of Ghost in the Shell, and while visually it's interesting, the plot is really nothing too special.
It's kind of messy too. Like the pacing issues are definitely there.
Yeah,
and I understand like they wanted to get as much of like the early stuff from the manga in there, but it was like they kind of went all over the place trying to emphasize certain things and certain character traits, and specifically like Alita finding out who she is.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of good stuff in there, but the bland love interest and the
that was just nauseating.
It's just not that good.
No, it's not.
It doesn't feel earned, and it's killer because I just watched an anime that did really good love stories, including one that started with people literally kicking each other's butts.
I mean, it's one of those things like we can have a love at first sight deal, and it just it just keeps going on and on.
No, he needed to be a snarky, wisecracking dude who pretends to just be like, is like, oh, I'm going to take advantage of this girl, not like in a sexual way. I should probably emphasize that immediately after I said that. I mean, like, use her to cause crimes.
It's like, wording.
Yeah, phrasing. Yeah, I meant like in like what they did in Chappie.
And it would have made sense for his character in the long run too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. But I still say there's a movie I want to compare this to.
Okay.
Because it ended up being a very important movie for a bunch of other reasons. But it's not a very good movie, and I think this one's still better than the one I'm about to compare it to. Just want to emphasize, Alita Battle Angel is better than Final Fantasy Spirits Within.
Wow.
But if you've ever watched Final Fantasy Spirits Within, you're well aware that movie is actually very visually interesting despite being terrible.
Oh yeah.
And famously, it was also the inspiration for a lot of the set design in Mass Effect.
Yeah.
This movie, even if it doesn't end up becoming the big hit they want, I mean, it actually made some money. So I wouldn't say a sequel's entirely out of the realm of possibility.
No, it's like right borderline right now.
Yeah, and if it gets more good international play, it could totally hit, I would say 400 million, maybe 500.
Yeah, especially when you think about, you got to attribute, once it gets out, Blu-ray, VOD, it's definitely going to go over.
Yeah, like, nationally, like, domestically, it is absolutely a bomb.
Right.
Because, I mean, its budget's like 200 million, and it's only made, I think, 800 mil domestically so far. Sorry, 880.
No, they got right now at 280.
That's including international.
Okay, oh man, good lord.
Yeah, well, like 200 of that's international already, and it's probably still going to go up.
Oh,
that's why I said like probably somewhere between 300 and 400, I would imagine, maybe half a bill.
Yeah.
It's probably not gonna break half a bill. I would be surprised if it hits 400, honestly. But that's still enough where we could get a sequel out of this, and I'm not opposed to that.
No, they still have a lot left in the tank if they wanted. That's the thing. It's like they gave enough of a story that, honestly, if they like had a more of a solidified ending, you wouldn't need a sequel. But they did leave it open for a sequel. They pulled a Netflix Marvel show on this one.
Yeah, and like this is an easier one to enjoy if you're turning off your brain a bit more.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
But it's really hard for me to watch stuff without a critical eye anymore. But like even then, like even the derivative stuff isn't that bad. It's just Hugo's awful.
Yeah, and I just like been there, done that kind of feeling. Like I see a lot of people praising the movie, and I like I said, there's a lot of reasons that I enjoyed it. Mainly from a visual perspective, and the action sequences were fantastic. Like
Rodriguez knows what's up.
Yeah, there was not a single action sequence that felt redundant or derivative or just mundane.
No. In terms of the action set pieces, when it's actually happening, like I said, it's just more like some of the premise and like some of the arcs. Well, especially the character arcs; those are not great.
Yeah, or anything wow, or just something that you haven't seen before. It doesn't feel unique.
Yeah, that's the shame of it all.
Which is amazing when you look at the world itself. It looks very unique. Like the first thing I thought about was like Ready Player One. Like I think about how that world looked after you get out of the video game realm.
Yeah.
And like this is very similar to that, but just a lot brighter, a lot more technologically advanced, and like exactly what you would expect from the future if something like what happened with the Great War or the Fall happened. Like from an environment, from a world building perspective, it looks great. From an action perspective, it looks great. Yep. From a narrative perspective, it is junky at best, which is ironic. Which is very ironic that it's junky.
I think the Rotten Tomatoes consensus is muddled. I'll agree with that.
No, but like I said, to me, it's one of those movies that's just like a nice rental. You know, and if from a visual perspective, it's great to see it in a movie. Like it'll be a great IMAX experience. But like if you just chop out like a lot of the lazy, boring parts. It'd be so much better to watch in a theater, but if you can't, like, just wait for it to come out and rent it.
It is probably better in the theater. I'll totally...
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't... Yeah, I would say it's very watchable. If you're interested in going to see it, like, unless you think the plot's going to be really good, you should probably go.
And it's edgy. Don't forget the edgy part. We've got to drop an F-bomb in there.
Yeah.
To show that character growth.
Yeah. Not sure what else I really want to say.
No, I just had to throw that out there. You got to show that character growth by dropping those F-bombs. You know that.
Yeah. Well, I think we're about ready to move on. Unless you have anything else you want to.
No. Speaking of another movie that starts with F.
Yeah, let's go from the world of fictional sports to the world of sort of fictional sports.
Yeah, I thought you were just gonna say not even sort of, just fictional sports.
Look, it's complicated.
It's not ballet, folks.
No, we're gonna talk about Fighting with My Family.
Yes.
Which is a film that's kind of very near and dear to both of our hearts because it's based on a wrestler that we are both familiar with, known as Paige, who still works in the WWE. Although, well, you know what? I'm not going to get into it, but there's things there. And this is basically
it's her origin
somewhat
story.
True account.
It's her origin story starring The Rock.
Yeah, that's true, because The Rock is... Yeah. Okay, so... This is a movie that WWE co-produced, right?
This is the best WWE film. This is the best film that ever been attached to WWE.
Well, the production company is pretty insane, because you got MGM, Film 4, Ink Factory, $7 Productions, which is The Rock's company, Meister Films, and then WWE Studios. So they're all on there.
Man.
And then it's distributed by Lionsgate, Universal, and United Artists.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like, this is all over the place. And to get even more crazy, it's freaking directed by Stephen Merchant.
Yes.
It is, I think, his first solo directorial effort for film. Because he co-directed Cemetery Junction with Ricky Gervais. Or sorry, Gervais. I can never remember how to pronounce it because I always want to make it sound French.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because he's directed TV. Like, he directed episodes of Hello, Ladies.
Right.
Did he direct... Yeah, he also directed Hello, Ladies, the movie, but that was on HBO. So that doesn't really count. Yeah, he's directed quite a few television films. But, yeah. Like, this is his first solo cinematic release as director. There. I think we got all the qualifiers out of the way.
There you go.
Anyway. And it's actually got a pretty all-star cast, all things considered, because, I mean, you got, Florence, is it Pugh?
I always say Pugh.
Yeah, Florence Pugh plays Paige, and Jack Loudon plays her brother Zach, a.k.a. Zodiac. Yeah, I wasn't familiar with Pugh. I saw Jack in the BBC adaptation of War and Peace.
Okay.
So, like, he's done some BBC stuff, but I'm going to quickly look at Florence as I talked about some of the other people. But then we got also Nick Frost, of course, frequent collaborator with Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg. And then Lena Headey, of course, very famous for Game of Thrones, and also did 300, among other things.
Mm-hmm.
And then Vince Vaughn, famous from that guy who talks fast.
In the worst season of True Detective.
Yeah. And then The Rock is playing himself, and he's in more than one scene, which surprised the hell out of me.
I wasn't too surprised because, like, from the trailers, it was obvious like there was a couple of scenes featuring him that were completely different.
Okay. Yeah, Florence Pugh is still pretty fresh. Like, she got her start in 2014, but that was when she was 18, and she's only 23. And don't forget, this movie got pushed back a year.
Yes, it did. Yeah, because it was supposed to come out, last September or October?
Yeah, because they announced it during WrestleMania the previous year.
Right.
And then they had that awkward promo where Paige doesn't know what to say for 5 seconds because she doesn't know they're rolling.
Yeah.
Oh, poor her. But yeah,
it is funny because you look at Paige. I mean, if you watch the movie, you see like these moments of Paige having these almost stage fright moments. Like that felt like a real life moment now. Like you look back at it, it's like, oh my goodness, this actually is closer to truth than we really realized.
Oh, I know. And oh yeah, before we move on to the film, I just want to also mention that active wrestler Zelina Vega.
Yes.
Credited as Thea Trinidad, played AJ Lee,
yes,
another wrestler, and Stephen Merchant does appear in the film as a character as well, and then some actual wrestlers, of course, do also make cameos as themselves, but otherwise it's mostly archival footage.
Yeah, the ones that feature a lot of the current modern day WWE superstars is archival.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so it's essentially the rising to the top of what's ultimately a fictional industry, because it's all scripted, but it really shows the drama and the struggle of this business. Like, it really makes you appreciate both the acting element and the athletic element of the whole thing.
Right.
Which is, I think, very important for WWE if they're going to do a film about, this is, I hate to use this term, so I'm going to say it once just because it's a common term. For a fake sport, you can hear me groaning, it was very important for them to show the struggle, and they nailed that in this movie. Like, we see Paige go through her tryout as well as deal with her family, because her brother tries to become a WWE wrestler and he can't. Her parents are, trying to make money, and they're, struggling a bit. And so it becomes a very personal story about anxiety and trying to conform when you just want to be yourself, and there's a lot of good, I think, narrative elements to this film, which are mostly based on true life. So I'm not sure who the hell Vince Vaughn is actually supposed to be. He's playing
the rumor is he's supposed to be Bill DeMott.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That way. Because I heard when he originally got cast for the movie, he was going to play Jake the Snake.
Yeah, that was the original rumor. But the way the rumor is that he's supposed to be Bill DeMott, and that would make sense during that time.
Oh yeah, especially because Bill DeMott's very controversial for potentially being too abusive. Like, didn't they say he'd used racial slurs and stuff too?
Oh, he's done a lot more than that.
I know. I've heard he actually like flat out smacked people around and stuff.
Yeah, no, the old no, you know what? Let's just move on.
Bill DeMott no longer works for WWE.
No, he doesn't. No, he does not. No.
So if that's who Hutch is supposed to actually be based on, yeah, that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good thing they made him. Yeah, because like the only like real people in there are you got Paige, and then you got her brother Zach, and you got her mom and dad, who are Rowdy Ricky Knight and Sweet Soraya.
Yeah, Sweet Soraya still wrestles.
Yeah, and then Roy Knight's a real dude.
Yes, he is. They are the hooligans in the UK scene.
Right.
With Zach and Roy.
Yeah, and then AJ's real, but then there's three other main
trainees.
Yeah, the main people we see Paige training with, and they're all. I really got a chuckle out of some of their names. I bet you did too, right?
Yeah.
Especially because their names are Jerry Lynn, Kirsten, and Madison.
Yeah.
Now, I have some idea of who couple of them are based on. I don't want to say for sure because it, honestly, it doesn't even really matter.
Right.
But they're very much, the attractive, not very talented wrestlers who nonetheless are able to pull it off.
Yeah. It's really, and the thing about it, I was actually trying to like associate them with anybody that was around that time, and it still can't really necessarily pinpoint.
I know. Well, I just love the fact that one's named Jerry Lynn.
Yeah.
Because that's a real ECW wrestler who's a man. And she's a struggling single mother, I believe, is her character thing.
Yes. And that was a big moment in the movie featuring her.
That was interesting. Like, because I really wonder how much this is true. Because if some of this actually happened, oh my god.
Yeah, and it just showed how, even though like Paige is the hero of the story, of course, it just showed how out of her element she was, especially considering the fact when she got there she was like 18, 19.
Oh yeah, so she was young.
She's still a kid, essentially, in a completely different environment, and not knowing how to handle herself without her family around. It was truly an amazing culture shock moment of watching how it played out in her career. And like you said, a lot of it's got to be based on truth. And the only reason I say this is because I kind of come in with this a little bit of a different view than I think a lot of people, because before I want to say like right before she got signed, there's actually a documentary about her family featuring the actual family members. Yeah. So I think that was on Channel 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched that like not long.
Which is the name of a UK channel, not to be confused with just changing.
Just a regular Channel 4.
I just feel I need to qualify that.
Yeah,
that drives
good
me
point.
insane.
Very good point. Like, there's a documentary on Channel 4. No, but and it just showed her, and there's one thing they really brought up in the documentary, the real life documentary, and it's something they brought up in the movie too, is the fact that her parents look at this as her going away for 3 to 4 years, and then she'll come back and then she'll make the family more money.
Yeah.
And one scene actually has them telling her they booked her to fight her brother when she comes back from Christmas vacation because now she's a big WWE superstar.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, great. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for having so much confidence in me. And I totally buy that, because if you know anything about the rest, like the arc with her brother, I totally buy that.
Oh no, that's definitely based on truth, because that was another thing they brought up in the previous documentary. It was just the fact how hard of a struggle it was for him to come to realize that he was never going to get signed.
Yeah, and if he did, he wasn't going to be headed to anything good.
No, he was going to be. He wouldn't even be a Santino, like that lovable jobber. He would be a Barry Horowitz before Barry Horowitz got a win over Chris Candido.
I was going to say Chris Masters.
I don't think he'd be
Chris
that
Masters
one.
won something.
Yeah. Chris Masters actually got a push at one point, though.
That's true. He actually got a world title push. He didn't actually win it.
No, he would have been freaking. He'd been happy to be a Singh brother like that. He was that kind of low.
It's true. He wasn't even going to be that, probably. Yeah. He definitely wasn't going to be Kozlov.
No. He'll be Sylvester Takai.
Every time I remember that Kozlov got solo world title matches, I'm always so confused.
And now he's on the Punisher.
Why not? But yeah, I don't know what else there is to really say. It's a very good classic sports story biopic.
Yeah.
Based on true events. They do cut out some stuff. Wait, did they ever show that she became the NXT Women's Champion?
No, they kind of skipped past that. It was like the big deal was the Divas Championship. Like
because that's national television.
Right. Like she finally made it. That was the moment.
Yeah, because NXT was airing on the network at that point, but it was still brand new.
Yeah, because I think it was the first takeover wasn't until the network. It wasn't even like that big of a deal.
Yeah.
It was just like a regular Wednesday night show, but just added an extra hour.
Yeah, and the network started with WrestleMania 29?
Yeah.
And yes, 30 was a year later. So, yeah, and Paige was the inaugural women's champion.
Come on,
NXT.
Howard Finkel, you can do it.
Put that cigarette out. Sorry, that's Mean Gene. Dang it.
No, that's Mean Gene.
Getting all my references wrong.
Oh, man. There's so many great people we love in this business, though.
Oh, absolutely.
I know.
You know, as gratuitous as the consistent Rock cameos were.
Yeah. It made really, like, just felt so fake. Like, if anything out of this movie, that was the only thing that felt fake.
There's no way she interacted with The Rock that
much. Who
They were
knew The Rock had
great
that
scenes,
much
though.
of an influence on her life?
Yeah, like,
I could have believed Billy Gunn more.
that would have been great.
That would have been awesome.
Oh, no. Have The Rock play Billy Gunn. Just go up and be like, it's like, hi, I'm Billy Gunn. My thing is I have a butt.
Look at me.
Yeah, check out my butt. That's
Check
all
it
I
out.
got.
All right, you gotta make it, kid.
He had more or less dignity as Mr. Ass compared to when he was one of the Wild Guns.
Smoking guns.
Smoking Guns, damn it. See, you know what I'm talking about, though.
No. It was better than Rockabilly.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Shout out to Honky Tonk Man going to the Hall of Fame. There you go.
Yeah. But I think the point is, like, if you want to watch a pretty good biopic that is, I would, about 60 to 70% accurate?
Yeah, I'll give it that.
Maybe 80.
Yeah, like I said, like pretty much like the Rock stuff is like the most gratuitous stuff that just doesn't feel real at all.
Yeah.
And the rest of it pretty much is on the nose.
Yeah, like
of course, they skip past certain parts, like her becoming the NXT Women's Champion, and
like that's the most glaring thing for me besides the Rock stuff. And you know what we should talk about real quick? Because remember we heard about this, that the wrestling in the movie wasn't supposed to look that good.
Yeah, that was right, because I remember when they were doing pre-tapes and they were doing the filming, and Rock came out during episodes of Raw that we didn't see, of course, and they would say the people in live attendance said it was like really, really bad. They managed to portray it well in the film. No, I thought they did a great job.
Yeah. No, so like if you've heard that rumor, in the actual film, it is actually pretty good.
It's not as great as Hogan versus Zeus, or Rip versus Zeus from No Holds Barred.
What about the failed TV pilot tag team, where they monkey flip criminals because they're cops? Who was the other one in that? Because it was Roddy Piper. Who was the other member? Was it Jesse Ventura?
I think it was.
Yeah, Jesse Ventura and Roddy Piper are cops who used to be wrestlers. So they just take down criminals with monkey flips. That's the show.
Well, I will say this: The Rock. I don't think The Rock did as good as he did on the '70s show.
Oh, that was great. Wait, when he talks about his son being the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. Good times.
No, a really good movie. I'm pleasantly surprised, pleasantly happy. I hope it does a lot better. Like, I know it's not going to win any awards or break any box office records, but
it's got a pretty good critical rating.
Yeah, I'm glad of that. I hope it does get that kind of following.
And it's made its budget back, but barely more than that. It's had the most recent update. Like, it's not on Wikipedia right now, but if you go to box office trackers, it's up to about 12 mil.
Okay.
Which is all right because its budget was 11. So yeah.
I thought it was $7.
Yep. It gets my $7. Speaking of things that'll get my $7, you want to talk about the next thing?
Yeah, let's go into it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. We should. If we had the right to censor sound going on right now, this would be the perfect time to do it because there's spoilers ahead.
Oh yeah, because all right. Here's the thing. We're going to talk about The Good Place, which is easily one of my favorite comedies on TV. Like, I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's definitely up there. And this is a show that has a very, very fluid status quo. As in, there's no status quo. It's basically always changing. It's very serialized. So, when we're talking about Season 3, there's going to be huge spoilers for Seasons 1 and 2. So, unfortunately, I'm just gonna say this: if you haven't seen The Good Place at all, go watch it. I love the show. It's worth watching. There's only 2 seasons besides this one right now, and they're less like 13 episodes each, right?
Yeah, it's not long at all.
No. So
yeah, I was actually surprised. I thought this season might be longer, but no, it's still the same running.
I know, because they had that weird interruption. Like, it's like, oh, and we've only got 3 episodes left. I don't know why they do it that way, but they do. Anyway, so yeah, it's very easy to digest, and yeah, I would just say watch it. Okay, so we're going to talk about Season 3. So for those who, for some reason, want spoilers, 4 humans who have been trapped in the bad place, basically hell, have now been reincarnated back on Earth to give them a chance to prove that they became better people in the afterlife, and now, back on Earth, they can prove that they're also going to become good people, despite the fact that they were terrible people originally.
Okay, one thing we have to note, too, in the first season, we're meant to believe that they are in the good place already.
Yeah. And
come to find out, no. There's a big twist at the end of the first season that revealed that, no, this is not the good place after all.
I always knew Ted Danson was a dick.
He's too nice of a guy. Like, he just comes across too nice. Something's wrong with him.
Oh, yeah. So, if for some reason you still want to know like who these people are. So you've got Kristen Bell playing basically the protagonist, Eleanor Shellstrop.
Right. Yep.
Who is just the worst kind of person.
Yeah, because like in the first season, she makes it to the good place. And it's emphasized that there are very few spots open for people to make it a good place. Like, it's high criteria.
Shakespeare's not in there.
Huh?
Shakespeare's not in there.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people are not in there.
Yeah. People that you would expect to be in there are not in there because of just the way they live. And yet, here's this person that has made it in. And come to find out, of course, there has been an error.
Yep. Yeah.
I love the fact I love who finds out about it, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, because the whole cast is amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
Like, William Jackson Harper, who I was not familiar with at all before this, plays Chidi Anagonye,
yes,
who is an ethics professor from Nigeria.
Yes.
And he was supposed to be Eleanor's soulmate, but of course he gets the wrong Eleanor. And he constantly has to deal, like, he's just the most nerdiest ethics professor there is.
He's got a constant moral battle going on.
And yeah, one of the big jokes about him is his constant indecision.
Yes.
Which is really fucking... Which is just really funny. Sorry, I coughed when I said really funny the first time. Ugh.
I'm choking on the goodness.
My muffin's trying to kill me.
That muffin's from the bad place.
I'm actually not eating a muffin today. I'm eating a strudel.
That strudel's from the bad place.
Yeah. Strudel is the work of the devil.
It's the work of Michael.
Yep. And we also have Jamila Jamil playing Tahani Al-Jamil, who is a wealthy philanthropist who basically just name drops all the time and hilariously is never lying about it.
Yes.
That's one of the big things we learned in season... I think it's season 1 or season 2?
I believe it's in season 2 when we found out about that.
No, season 1, because remember, they like when they try to prove that to see if Eleanor
yeah.
It's season 1 we find out she's not making any of the references.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
I was looking on the wiki. I had no idea that the literal translation of her name is courageously. Congratulations, oh, good Lord. Congratulations, beautiful.
You kept wanting to say courageously beautiful?
Yeah, I want to say courageously beautiful so badly.
That would have been funny, too.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Because her name in Arabic is congratulations, beautiful. See, now you got me saying it. Yeah, and she was born in Pakistan, raised in England, and then went to school in France.
Oh, man.
So she's like just the wealthiest people. It's not even entirely clear. We know her sister's just good at everything.
Right.
Including art and music. Like, she got inducted into the Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, despite being typically too young for that, and also does, like, artwork that apparently are worth millions.
Right.
Yeah. And then we also got Manny. Is it Jacinto? Manny.
Yeah. I just say Manny. I just say Manny.
I'm pretty sure his name is Spanish.
Okay.
Or because he's Filipino. Oh, Filipino Canadian, and so I would imagine I've never looked it up, but I would imagine it's got a Spanish pronunciation to it.
Right, it's got an H to it.
And his character's name Jason Mendoza, who initially pretends to be a Buddhist monk named Taiwanese Buddhist monk named Zhan Yu Li, but he's in fact Jason Mendoza, a Florida DJ.
Yes.
And drug dealer.
Who's taken a vow of silence because of him being a Buddhist.
Oh, yeah, well, Zhan Yu did.
Yeah. Let me rephrase that. Zhan Yu took a vow of silence as a Buddhist monk, and since once again we've had another processing error here.
Yep. In this case, Jason might be one of the dumbest people in existence.
No, he's right there. He's right on the edge.
How he dies is one of the most hilarious and horrific deaths in the show's run.
Yes.
Like, all the deaths are kind of horrific to a degree, but because it's death. But his is one of the most brutal and hilarious, just because of how they present it.
Right.
And so then those are the main four humans, and then we have Michael, played by Ted Danson, who is the architect of the fake good place. So he's technically a demon.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's actually, he's basically torturing people. So he's got this weird thing where he looks like Ted Danson. Of course, he's implied to actually be something else.
Right. I mean, when you first see him, especially when it comes to like the commercials, you just imagine him being just a heavenly figure. Like he's touched by an angel heavenly.
Oh yeah. And of course, he's also just a big dork.
Yeah.
I always love when he has to make up a fake name and just fails. I think, what does he call himself at one point when he's a fake reporter? John Scoop?
Yeah!
And this is my associate, Ellie Scoop, who's also my sister. There's a lot of great stuff with him.
Hey, with a name like that, you would have to get into news reporting.
Yeah. And he, at one point, gets really excited about riding the bus.
Yeah.
Well, not to mention, remember how amazed he was when he saw a combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell?
Yeah.
Anyway, and the last cast member is Darcy Carden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who plays Janet, who is like this weird
AI personal assistant.
Yeah, but like for heaven.
Yeah.
Like it's very important that she was actually designed to be for the good place, but the bad place stole her. And because they have like this special cosmic identity to them, if they get rebooted enough times, they can get almost godlike powers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whenever she's in the afterlife in some region, she can like conjure things out of nothing, and she has access to all the information in the universe. And as a result, she also like blinks in and out of existence, which is just pretty great, especially later on when they start introducing other Janet-like beings.
Yes.
Who end up having some pretty... I don't even want to spoil the jokes. What's the problem with this type of thing? Because we're going to talk about a comedy. It's like, let's talk about our favorite jokes.
Well, some of them are big spoiler heavy.
Yeah, well, yeah. But, so that's the crew, in case you didn't know. And the premise of Season 3 is, they're back on Earth, and Michael and Janet are trying to see if our four humans can somehow become better after being saved from death.
Right. And the thing about it, one of the big things is having memories erased. So it's almost like you have to have this natural instinct of how to be a better person.
Mm-hmm. And so they try.
They try. That's the best way to put it. They try.
My personal favorite is Michael quickly realizes, oh no, we need to bring them together to actually get them to be better.
Right.
And one of my favorites is we see a flash forward to where Jason is 1 year after trying, and he's proposing marriage to a cop.
Yes.
To get out of being. What did he say? Did he think her last name was Officer?
Yes, he did.
It was one of the. It's like, no. Plus, you'll get to keep half of everything I stole. So you just admitted to stealing. Oh, you tricked me. That I had to bring that up because that's one of my favorite jokes in the whole season.
Yeah, it really is some good stuff. Like,
there's another one later on where Chidi just.
I just love Jason as a character. Period. So
anytime
he's on screen, I'm happy.
Yeah, if he talks too long, he can get kind of annoying.
But he's just so childlike.
Yeah.
He has no sense of like repercussion or consequence. It's not even like in a bad nature way. It's just like he has no idea what's going on, like what to do. He's just living life.
Oh, exactly. One of my favorites is in season 2 when Michael considers it a new low that Jason figured out they were in the bad place.
Yeah.
Like, this can't happen. It's great. But yeah, like just the arc in general this season, it's really interesting because it almost feels like they're going through various stages of, like, because the first one is supposedly heaven, and it's not.
Right.
Season 2, it's essentially them trying to deal with hell.
Right. I'm trying to understand like how I ended up here and how to make myself better. Like just trying to get that point of redemption.
Yeah, and then in season 3, we're essentially doing a purgatory situation.
Right.
And once again, they do it because, like, one of the great things is they've got a pretty good guest cast that are just phenomenal. Because we get people like, well, first of all, Mark Evan Jackson as Sean, who is basically the devil. Like at one point, he just pops in and he was describing the plot of the Entourage movie to William Shakespeare, just because it would make it feel funny to him.
Yeah, the first person I thought about was Maya Rudolph.
Well, I was going to get to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maya Rudolph, who is basically the cosmic judge.
Yes.
And apparently really loves Mark Harmon. Because of course. And then we get a bunch of other guests because Adam Scott makes his return.
Right.
Small spoiler there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get into what he does, but and then we get we get some other really good one episode guest stars because we get Michael McKean shows up. Just as a fun coincidence, Stephen Merchant shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And what the heck is her name? Nicole Byer. Who, I swear, what do I know her from?
Huh.
Is that ringing a bell? No?
No, I definitely remember her a part of the show, but I can't remember if she's been a part of anything.
Girl Code.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I know her from something, and I've seen Girl Code before. Like, that's what it is. And then Paul Scheer from Human Giant,
yeah,
various comedies. He's one of the classic recurring guest stars you would get. They all show up, and they're pretty great. And the arc includes possibly some of the... Okay, very small spoiler. I'm not going to give away the whole joke, but when they explain how time works in the afterlife, that might be one of my favorite jokes in the whole show. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what else we can really say. It's just, there's the premise, and the season's still good.
Yeah. To me, it was actually probably the weakest season of the 3 so far, and that's like saying, okay, those are A pluses, this is an A.
Yeah, like, I get what you're saying about weaker, just because
I think for me it was just the fact that it wasn't, you're not in this mystical world, like we've had this environment of almost fantasy for the last 2 seasons, and now we're kind of based more in reality, even though it's still absurd in a lot of ways. But like, I think that kind of took away a little bit from it. And then if you notice, like, there's still kind of like that foundation, that formula that they've had in the first couple of seasons that they definitely utilized here, but just in a little bit different manner with a couple of the characters.
Yeah, they even explored some jokes that they made.
Yeah.
So many, like, what was it? Season 2, they made the joke about the IHOP.
Mm-hmm.
Season 3, we get to see the IHOP.
Right.
It's horrifying. Which brings me to one of my favorite jokes, how casually, Ted Danson as Michael can talk about stuff that's just horrifying.
Yeah, like he's so desensitized to it.
Yeah. It's like, Chidi describes something horrifying he saw, and he's like, oh yeah, that. We've all seen it. He's like, wait, what? I honestly don't know what else to say at this point. It's still one of the funniest shows on TV.
Yeah, and
thankfully getting...
And it's not a painful watch either, in terms of like, oh, you gotta... Even though we're in the third season, it's not that much.
No. And like, did you see the title of episode 12?
Yeah.
I just noticed that. I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
That's a pretty great title. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know what else to say at this point.
No, it's one of those shows I didn't think I would like as much as I liked, and I really like it.
Well, the first season, it took me a few episodes to really get into it.
But I mean, just like the trailer alone just didn't seem appealing.
No, that didn't. Yeah, and like they do have fun with the fact that like it censors your language and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what else to really say at this point. I think just haven't watched it yet. Definitely check it out.
Yeah, definitely give it a try. I say if you can make it through like the first half of season 1, you're in really good shape. Like if you can make it through that, you're off to the races with it.
Yeah. I have to figure that out. Yeah, just watch it. I think it's on Netflix now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, the first 2 seasons are on Netflix.
Actually, I think on Hulu too.
Yeah, that's true. Guess we should plug Hulu.
Yeah, so it's good. And I know probably like NBC's got it on the website or something too. So it's probably a lot of avenues you can watch this show for either free or for a very low price.
Yeah. Yeah, I should be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
Just, for the love of God, watch it.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, yeah, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
I think I've said that like 3 times, but it's like...
I'm in a good place right now.
Yeah. Just watch the show. We've said it enough times. Please do it.
We want you to understand. We're not trying to trick you.
No, we're really not. Like, it's... Again, all I want to talk about are the jokes, and they're not fun if you're not watching the show.
If you're not watching the show. It's one of those things you have to be there to get it.
Yeah.
You have to be
like,
there.
This is easily one of my favorite shows, and like I was at a point where I was like, I don't know if I can watch, traditional comedy anymore. I totally can. All right, I think that's gonna do it for episode 45. Anything to add, James?
No, just we're in a good place, and we want you to be there too.
Yep. So please always consider, well, just the universe.
Mm-hmm. And the time knife.
Yeah.
Always remember the time knife.